Hello and welcome to another episode here on the podcast where today I'll be talking about my tier maker predictions going into the live shows for Britain's Got Talent Series 19. My name is Marcin Ahomi, content creator and the host of Marcin Ahomi's Recap and Review podcast, where I talk about TV, music, celebrities and so much more. If this is your first time tuning into my podcast and you're listening on Spotify, please download the episode and follow the podcast so you don't miss anything when a new upload is on the podcast, or if you watch this on YouTube, etc. You know the idea. And remember that you can always follow me on my social media platforms, which is my Instagram at Marcingahomi and my YouTube channel, which is Marcingahomi. All of it is available in the thumbnail of the podcast if you're listening on Spotify. So this week it is the start of the live shows for Britain's Got Talent Series 19. I can't believe that we've made it to the live shows already. It is honestly, it's flown by this year for the auditions, and Saturday's episode was a brilliant way to end off the auditions as well. And overall, I just really enjoyed the episode as well as a whole. So with that in mind, I wanted to do something like I did for my America's Got Talent type of theme thing here. Basically, as you can see here, which was my tier maker prediction. So I decided to bring it here to the live shows for BGT. So basically, I'm going to be doing the exact same here, and I have all the contestants here listed here in this box here. And so basically, we're just going to go through each contestant, and I'm going to rank them in the place where I think they'll likely end up ranking during the competition. So I have here the top three, which I think will be the top three. So that'll be first, second, and third place. Then I have the finalist category. Then I have the semi-finalist, and then I have the acts who I think will be eliminated in the deliberations round. So basically, who I think won't make it through to the live show. So without any further ado, let's just get straight into this tier maker here, because and also if you want to create this your own, this I actually created myself, so I will leave a link to it in the comments, in the pinned comment on YouTube. So if you're watching on my YouTube channel, please do consider to click the link so you can create your own tier maker. That would just be awesome. So without any further ado, let's just get straight into this. So we're just going to go quickly into each of the contestants. Going to try to be as quick as we can with them. So first up, we have Aqua Dance, who are the salsa dancers on episode 4 for the auditions. And while I think they were very good at what they did, you know, it's entertaining, I think they are likely going to be cut in the deliberations, unfortunately. Again, I think they were very good, but at the same time, I don't know if this is something that could go further in the competition. Next up, I have Aldo Nicolini here, who I think is one of the most underrated acts of the series. And to be honest with you, I would hope for him to be in the semi-finals, but unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be in his dub mix. So I'm going to say he's going to be the one to be possibly going home in the deliberations. So that's why I think he'll rank. Next up, I have Alfredo and Coral here, and I have been wanting to have them in the finalist category, but for now, I'm going to put them in the semi-finals category. But I will say this, I think Alfredo and Coral are just incredible. So, but if Simon has the golden buzzer, if it returns to the live shows, and it's on his night, I could definitely see him, I guess, possibly getting it. And just give me a second. I'm just going to get my little notes here, because I have a list of the acts who I think are likely going to make it to the semi-finals here. Again, this is just on my phone here, just because I just want to keep track as well while doing it, of course. So there we go. So I just have it right here in front of me, just to make sure that we're on the same page. So I think Alfredo, but I think I could also see Alfredo being that possible finalist and surprising us. Next, we have Anastasia and Salsa, the dog act, who are on episode 4. And I honestly think they're going to be finalists. I think they were just fantastic. And seeing how well the dog acts have done over the years, I think that they are definitely worthy of making it to the finals, and I really hope they do, because they're definitely an act I think is definitely one of my favorites this year. Next up, we have definitely one of in my eyes, one of the best acts this year, easily top 3 I think of all time, and that is Anti-Gravity. And for me, they go straight into the top 3. I think their audition was absolutely sensational, and just how incredible it was, the way they combined technology and everything else. It was just incredible, and easily one of the most unique acts we've ever had on the show. It was epic. It's so fascinating, and I said it before, but it's, I love the whole video game style they did. So I got really good feeling. I honestly think they could easily make it through to they could easily win the show, if I'm honest. But for my top three, I have them in second place if for my top three. Next up, we have Asco, the orchestra slash the DJ type of act. I'm going to put it in the deliberations round. I think they'll get cut there. Again, I don't think this is an act that could, progress up, and but I still think that their audition was actually really good. The way they did the crossover between the classical music and the kind of current genre music, I thought that was really cool. So, but for now, I just have a feeling they could be in the. They could. I don't think they'll make it to the live shows, unfortunately. Next up is Baron and Vesper from episode 2. And again, as you guys know, I love seeing Dangerx on the show, and I think they will very likely make it to the live show. So, so I'm going to put them in the semi-finals category. Then we had the Stacey's Golden Buzzer, which was the Braunstone Community Primary School. Again, I think for me, they are one. In my opinion, they are one of the. In my opinion, one of the weaker Golden Buzzers this year. Can't get my words out right now, but I think I enjoyed them, but I don't know if this is an act that is could win again. Again, this would have been my personal choice for Golden Buzzer, but for now, I'm gonna put them in the as semi-finalists in the category for the semi-finals. Next up is the drone act Celestial, and I think they are definitely going to be finalists in my opinion. I thought they'll again. I just think their audition is definitely one of the most memorable. The way having drone acts as well, just the way they did their act was just incredible. So I think it would be shocking if they don't get to the live show because Simon even said they could potentially win it, and I would not be surprised if they did because I do think they are absolutely just phenomenal. It's just incredible what they do. Next is I have here Celtic Beat, and I think they will likely make the semi-final, so I put them in the semi-finals category. Next is Chance Oshiro, the novelty act. I think he will likely be in the again. I could see maybe the judges putting him in the semi-finals category, maybe putting him into the live show just for the novelty stuff. But I think they're gonna. This is just kind of what I'm hoping. But I kind of hope he doesn't make it to the live shows in my opinion. Next up is Christy Coish, the guy who sang about Scotch eggs, and Tom. I know you're gonna absolutely disown me here from what this opinion here, and I'm sorry, my friend. I'm really, really sorry, but unfortunately, I'm gonna put him in. I don't think he'll make it to the live shows. I know. I can already tell you that Tom, you're gonna be screaming right now at me. I know. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, but that's just my opinion. Again, I'm sorry. Again, I think it was fun, but I don't know if it's. I just think I just don't know. I just don't know if it's my type of thing, in my opinion. Next up is we have Claire. I can't remember her second name, but Claire, basically the bagpipe player. I think she'll get cut in the deliberations. Same with Daniel Edison, the stand-up comedian. I think he's again comedy. I think his audition was fine, but nothing too phenomenal. Next, Darren Tiatz, the kind of acrobat sort of act in the sailor costume. I think he'll get cut in the deliberations as well. Dom and Ninja, again, I think in going into this, I was thinking that they could possibly a deliberation act, but I have a feeling they could make it to the live show, so I'm going to put them there in the semi-finals category. So next up, we have Emily Cass, the impressionist and voice actress, and I think she's definitely someone that could easily be that potential dark horse that really surprises us. So for now, I'm going to put her. Again, I think it's very possible we could see her being a possible finalist, but I'm going to put her in the semi-finals category for now. But she could definitely surprise us later down the line if she makes the live shows. Next up, Epic Sax guy here, and I have to put him in the semi-finals. Honestly, I don't care what anyone says. I want to see him in the semi-finals so badly because I just think he's just so entertaining. He's so fun. And I think he's just a breath of fresh air to watch in terms of just I don't know why. I don't know why, but I just find him so kind of fun to watch. And of course, KSI loved him. So, I'm definitely hoping for him. Definitely hoping for him to make the live shows because I think to hopefully have KSI do a collab with him would just be brilliant. Next up, we have Fabian Fox, who is definitely one of my favorite magicians this year in terms of I think his audition just really blew me away with this whole teleportation act. Again, I was thinking of putting him in the finest category, but I want to make a separate page now that has like the dark horses because he would be in that category. But for now, I'm going to put him in the semi-finals category just because I think again, I would love it if he were to make the final because I think he's definitely one of those acts that could easily surprise us a bit later down the line. Um, but for now, I have him in the semi-finals category. Next up is the act from the most recent episode. That is Fakir Tester, the danger act who pulled Simon in that SUV car. And again, I think as you guys know, I love the danger acts, and I remember him on AGT, and he didn't make it to the live show. So I'm really hoping for him to make it through this time around because he's just amazing. And again, I know danger acts aren't everybody's cup of tea, but still, but for me, at least in my opinion, I think they are just so fun to watch. Next up, we have Finley Barrett Carter. Now, going into this, I was gonna have him as my live show finalist in my opinion because his audition was so good, easily one of my favorite singers in the competition. But unfortunately, I have a feeling that he's not going to make it, and it's just a gut feeling I have it. So I'm going to put him in the deliberations to get eliminated in the deliberations, even though I want him in the live show so badly, but I don't think it's going to happen. Next up, Fraser Penman from episode 1. I again another potential dark horse, I think. So I'm going to put him in the semi-finals category. Again, I just think I really enjoyed his audition as well because I think the way he did the his act about his condition and connection with people, I thought was brilliant. So I definitely think he's got something good up his sleeve if he makes it to the live shows, which I'm definitely hoping for. Next up, I have the Glantaf boys choir from Wales, who was Simon's surprise, and I'm going to put them in the semi-finals category. So because again, choirs have done well over the years, so I could definitely see them. I think they're definitely going to make the live shows. But it's going to be very interesting to see how they do because will they make? Will they? Because if it's based on the public vote, I could definitely see them getting the support from Wales. But we'll find out, of course. But for now, I have them in the semi-finals category. Next up here we have Jake Banfield, the again another magician yet again. This and you'll see throughout the this episode here that the acts I'm talking about, we've got quite a few magicians on, and as you probably know, this year is the year of magic. We've had so many magicians on this year, it's just insane. But I think Jake Banfield really reminds me of Dustin Tavella because if you remember Dustin Tavella back on AGT, his performances were always about his own children because he adopted his children through adoption, and he kind of shared that story along the way. So again, while this isn't necessarily the same case, but Jake for me is kind of like he kind of reminds me a bit like Zach Mears from AGT last year. So he kind of reminds me a little bit of that, but I could possibly see him making it to the semi-finals. I don't think the final, but I'm gonna have him in the semi-finals category for now. Next up, James Miller, who performed Defying Gravity from Wicked back on episode 4. And I think he's gonna make it to the live shows for sure. I definitely think that. Now, and also then another James, which is James Pellin, who is also the magician and nephew to Paul Daniels. Again, I was gonna have him as a finalist, seeing how well Magic has done over the years, but again, I think he could definitely make it, but for now, I'm gonna put him in the semi-finals category for now. Next up, Joan Thomas, the NHS worker who performed Père Jésus. Again, I think she will make it to the live shows. Juna Carlos, the 12-year-old dancer from Spain. I think he will likely get cut in the deliberations. Same with Catherine Odell, Catherine who was originally on the show with her husband Joe, Catherine O'Mara. Is that her name? I can't even think of her surname for some stupid reason. You know who I'm on about, guys. But I think she'll probably get eliminated in the deliberation round there. Next up, Key Voices, the children's choir, and unfortunately, I think they will make it. I think they will get cut in the deliberations. Next up, Kristen Herrera, who performed Run to You by Winnie Houston. Her audition was absolutely amazing. And I'm going to put her again. Again, this is why I want to put a dark horse like category here, because there's a few acts I could easily see being the dark horses this year, but unfortunately I didn't have time to make that category at the moment. But for now, we'll just put we can just put her there, but of course I could easily change this a little bit around as it goes along. Next up is Lee Thompson, the kind of magician and who did the pick pocket, like switching around with the audience members. A very unique actor as well. I would not be disappointed if he made the live shows, but I don't think he will, unfortunately. So I'm going to put him in the deliberations category. The same with Leroy Patterson, and I know, but actually, matter of fact, Leroy Patterson actually messaged me after I talked about my review with him about him, and he was actually really nice about it. He said that he said that's okay that you didn't like my act, because not many people not many people like not everyone will like my act. So I think that was really nice of him to kind of like say that, which I thought was really really nice. Um, so, but again, I think it's this is a very like Marmite act in a way. Of course these sorts of danger acts, like mouse traps and etc etc etc. But I think I don't know. I don't know if this is an act that will be in the live shows, unfortunately. Next up is Li Wei Yang, the fire juggler. I think she will definitely make the semi-finals. And LMA. Now, I have to say, I'm honestly so annoyed that I didn't have LMA as my finalist prediction, during my early picture predictions episode, because I would have easily had them there. But I'm now changing my tune here, and I think they will be finalists for sure at this time. I really do think that. Next up is Luciano and Frankie. Definitely, I could definitely see them being the dark horse now, especially with them being on the final audition episode, and how how the young lad surprised his granddad, which I thought was such a special moment. So I'm going to put them in the semi-finals category, but I could also see them being a possible finalist if they do well on their respective live show. Next is here I have Mac Shane and Delby, the Australian freestyle rapper duo. And again, I just think these guys are so unique. They're so brilliant. And I think that if they were to make it to the live shows, I think it'll be very interesting to see how they up the ante. But I'm going to put them in the deliberations category just for now, just because I think, but that's just my opinion. But I would love to see them in the live shows as well. Next up, Matty J from episode 5, and he is going straight into the top 3 for me. He is my third place out of everyone for my top 3. And to be honest with you guys, I think he is definitely one. To this day, I still watch his performance numerous times. Like, his voice is just absolutely incredible. And yeah, again, he's just so damn talented, and just one of the best performances this series. I even mentioned it in my review that his audition was one of the best this year, and in my opinion of the series as well. So it was just amazing, and I think if he's not at least a finalist, there is something seriously wrong, because he is just absolutely phenomenal. Next up, we have Maverick Magicians, and unfortunately, I think there will be one of the magic acts that do get cut in the deliberations. Mega Unity next, and I was going to have them in finalist category, especially with their, with their track record of Got Talent shows. Again, I still think it could be possible, but for now, I'm going to put them in the semi-finals category. And again, Mizuki Shinagawa, I'm going to have her there. Same with Mr. Cherry. KSI second golden buzzer, which honestly I still can't believe that he pressed it for him. Like, that was just crazy in my opinion. So which was pretty interesting. Again, the Japanese novelty acts are always so like random. Like, I don't know why. I can't even describe it. Like, it's just so weird and the fact KSI pressed the golden buzzer for him, I just thought was so strange. Like, why did you press the golden buzzer for him? Like, really? Oh, goodness gracious me, honestly. But it's one of the reasons why I love KSI as well. I just think he's brilliant. Next up is MC Tazo, aka Kevin. Now, I will be honest, I was actually going to have him as a semi-finalist, but I think it's very possible that he could be the one to possibly get cut in the deliberations. And the same, in my opinion, for Nancy Tilley, who, again, it could definitely be a flip of the coin here, where she could possibly make the semi-finals over someone who could be a surprise. Of course, we'll find that later towards the time, but for now, I have her in that category. Next up is Neve Node, who performed Ordinary on the Harp by Alex Warren, and I have her straight in the finalist category because, again, her audition for me was absolutely fantastic, and and also, see, as you probably know by now, she was also on The Voice UK, The Voice Kids UK a few years ago and made it all the way to the final. And I could honestly see the same happening to her. You know, I mean, I'm definitely hoping she does make the final because she's just so talented, and she's from Ireland, as well, which is awesome. Nick Varney is up next, and honestly, the more I think about it, I think he is very, very likely to make it to the final at this rate because again, his audition was absolutely brilliant, and I think that he's someone that the public would easily get behind in terms of the voting demographic, and in general, he's just so talented, just such an amazing voice, and I'm so happy he's been given the break to really break out of his shell. It's just amazing. Next is Paul Nanari, who is Simon's first Golden Buzzer of the series, and I still think he will be a finalist. Again, I just think what he does is absolutely incredible. Especially being in a wheelchair is what makes it even more fascinating. And just I think that he is the definition of not letting your disability define your talent. That's at least that's what I see it as, and I just think he's definitely could easily could make it to the final at this rate. Next up is the Playground Boys. And again, this was an act that Alicia was a bit critical on because she said that she wasn't a massive fan of the routine, but she did say that they could go far. So with that, I think that I think they will definitely make the live show. So I'm going to put them in the semi-finals category. Now we go on to Rafferty Coop, who is of course Simon's KSI's Golden Buzzer, his first one, also the Magician, and I have since day one. I am putting him in the top three in as my winner pick because he's been my choice to win ever since day one. He is just so talented, and his audition is just so amazing. It was just so amazing the way he combined his passions of music and magic into one act. I thought was just incredible. So, and I think if he ups that once again, he's gonna have a real shot of winning it. And again, easily one of my favorite acts this year. Definitely one of the best acts as well to be on the show this year. He's just absolutely incredible. Next up, we have Ren DMC, the rapper who basically roasted the judges in a way. So, but I think he will get through to the semi-finals here. I'm definitely at least hoping he does. Next up is Sunny Green. We're getting close to the end already, guys. Next up is the poet, who is Sunny Green, and I think that Sonny could definitely make it to the final. I think he's very possible, but for now, I'm going to put him in the semi-finals category. But also at the same time, I think he's going to have to be really clever with his material because if he goes too political, it could be game over. Because I know his audition was about what England meant to him and just having unity there, passion, everything, just having staying together, staying strong. Loved everything of that. So I am going to put him in the semi-finals category, but I could also see him being a possible finalist. Next up is SOS, the rock band who did the Backstreet Boys, and I think they'll make it to the semi-finals. I think they are absolutely brilliant, and definitely hope because they're definitely a very underrated act in my opinion too. Next up is Ted Hill, who are Anton Deck's Golden Buzzer. And I think he will likely get to the semi-finals. The Hawkstone Farmers Choir, I think, will be in the finals. Again, we're just going to go quite quickly on these now, since because just to get over and done with. Next up, the Luck City Choir. I unfortunately think they'll not make it through and get cut in the deliberations. Same with the Marjorie Club. And now the Rafikis, who are again another act who I've been absolutely fascinated by. I guess the Rafik, I love acrobatics on the show, and these guys are the absolute definition of unbelievable. Their audition was sensational, and I think to see them not make the final would just be criminal. And I think that again, they're just an absolutely incredible act. So I think they will make it through to the final, and hopefully the live show Golden Buzzer if it does return. Next up, we have the Skate Squad, who I now think will make it through to the semi-finals. Then we have Wei Yamin, the kind of like drummer guy, which I think was a pretty fun act, but I don't know if he'll make it through to the live shows. Then we have the Welsh Masters team, the acrobatic group. I think they will hopefully make it to the live shows again. I love seeing these types of acts on the show, and I just think they were just absolutely brilliant. And very much hoping to see them in the live shows. And finally, we have Amanda's Golden Buzzer, which is World Wings. And unfortunately, and as much as I really want them to be a finalist, I think they will likely get to the semi-finals here. So I'm placing them in the semi-finals category overall, especially looking at acts like Cyber Agent what's that, Cyber Agent Legit, that's their name. To kind of, I could honestly see them having that same trajectory, but at the same time I would hype for them to make it to the final, but this show, anything can happen. So that is my tier maker for the live shows going into it this Saturday on BGT Series 19. Do you agree with my picks here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback, and as always, I will leave a link to this in the pinned comment on YouTube so you can make your own ranking. But again, this is just my personal list, and I would love to hear your thoughts below. Do you agree? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear your feedback. But that's all for me for this episode. This Saturday, we're heading into the live shows for BGT Series 19, which I cannot wait for. I'm so excited, and I'm really hoping we get this lineup here for the semi-final for the live shows. The acts all up here. I just think it would be amazing. But that's all for me. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please remember to follow my podcast and download the episode and subscribe to my Instagram account and my YouTube channel so you don't miss any more content. But for now, once again, thank you so much for listening to my episode talking about my live show predictions going into BGT Series 19. And of course, I will see you guys next time.